Thank you for joining us today. This is the Benelinks setup guide. This particular video is going to focus on general navigation. Let's get started. I want to talk you through our goals of this presentation and make sure we touch on each one of these items. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the app launcher and how, with the Benelinks solution, you get multiple applications, which is so cool. The next thing we're going to talk about is the objects, and which is just a way to organize all of our data. And there's silos of content and how that's going to be organized. Next step is we're going to go through the list views and how we're going to see all the information in subcategories under our objects. We're also going to show you how to create your own list view, which is pretty cool. Editing and buttons. We want to make sure you know how to delete a record that you've built, edit the fields that you need, and then also show you that there's custom buttons underneath different objects. So we want to make sure you know where they are. So when you're trying to run through a market proposal, you know where those buttons are under that specific object. Page layouts are really important. So once we get into and show you some viewing of these record types, we want to make sure you can see the layout of each page and how consistent it is across all of our objects. We want to get you familiar with everything, where everything is. Last but not least, I want to touch a little bit on favorites and how you can set up favorites so you can get to the information you need quickly. Let's get started. So you're going to log in to your Benelinks application, maybe for the first time, and you're going to see a lot of information. Some of it's going to be blank, because if it's a blank trial org, there's not going to be any information here, but you'll have these definite reports and dashboards visible. But let's focus on the top. So the first we're going to go through is going to be that app launcher, which is here in this waffle. Okay? But we're also going to go from left to right and show you all these objects and explain all these objects to you. But let's go into this app launcher. That's what it's called. And you'll be able to see the applications that you will be getting with the Benelinks solution. First one is Conga Composer. We're not going to go into that today. That's for a different video. But that's where we can go in and edit our Excel templates that are going to be generated in our solution. So we're going to be able to customize our applications for our market proposals and our benefit booklets. And that's where we're going to go to make those edits and then re-upload those templates in our Conga Composer. Our agency management application is where we're at. So if I need to get back to it, just go into my waffle here, my application launcher, and click on our agency. The next step is going to be then also our commissions module or application. That's where we're going to go in here, and we're going to be able to, in a trial org situation, we're going to be able to play around with this, but we're going to be able to manually enter our commissions here. We're going to be able to do a commission upload report. We're going to be able to create our maps for doing our uploads. We're going to be able to track our fees if we have fees that we're tracking. And we're going to be able to see our payouts and our commission payouts, which is what our producers get paid. So this whole application is available. But if I want to go in there and then I want to go back to my agency management, I'm going to click on that. So those are the applications you get with our Benelinks solution. Visually, you're going to be able to see you're on our home screen. It's going to have the dashboard we've assigned to our home screen, our different daily tasks and events, and all of this is fully customizable, again, for another video. But overall, you can be able to see now our objects. Okay, these are different ways of organizing all of our data. Our dashboards as an object, our reports, our accounts, our deals, our plans, contacts, proposals, policies, services, and actions. Okay, that's what we're going to walk through today. And these are all objects, they call them. Okay, and it's ways of organizing our information. And all these objects are intertwined. Okay, anytime I go into a record, and anything that's hyperlinked is going to show up in blue, and it's just going to be ways of organizing the same information and attaching it behind the scenes. So if I want to see something, I'm going to be able to click on that hyperlink, and it's going to take me. See what happened? I was in accounts. Look at it. It's actually taking me to the contact and saying, you're now in contacts. And now you're under this record, Sandy Sampson, and it's attached to what? Our account name, and there's even emails. Okay? So there's lots of ways to get to the same information, and it's all going to be linked up behind the scenes. Okay? Anytime we click on one of those hyperlinks, it's going to take us to that location of where we are. Okay? So we've got that organized. Our objects are organized, and then under each one of these objects, it's interlinked, and it's going to show me the information. If I click on, see, it said I'm in my policies. Here's my list of policies. If I click on my account name, guess what happens? Yep, it takes me to the account. It says now you're in accounts under Right Health Solutions, right? So that's how all the information is intertwined and connected. Let's talk about list views. So let's each time I go into my account, first thing I see at the top left is my list view, okay? I've got different list views that are available. If I go through, my default list view for those people that are going through the trial org is going to show my recently viewed on every one of my objects. Okay? My accounts right now, it's pinned to show me my business accounts. But let me show you what it's going to look like if you're going in for the first time. It's going to show you that. Okay? But if I want to show a list view that's different than my recently viewed, because if I go through, it's the default recently viewed, recently viewed. If I want to show a different list view, each time I can actually pull down my list of list views. And if I say I want to see my business accounts each time, I don't want to see my recently viewed, I can pin that. Now, if I go away from that object and go back, get rid of that, guess what? Now my list view default that's pinned is going to show up each time as my business account. I can do that with each one of my objects. Okay. So under policies, recently views the default, but let's say I want to go and every time I want to see all. I want that to be pinned. So I go away now, go back to that object, and guess what? My pinned is going to show up first. That's how I can start to customize my Benalinks application to the way I want to see the information. Okay, so I can pull down, you can see there are some list views already built for me, okay? So I don't have to start from scratch, right? On the general account types that I may want to see all the information under, like my carriers, right? I don't want to see every account. Maybe I want to see just my carrier accounts. This is my list view to do that, okay? If I want to just see my business accounts, okay, and that's where I'm going to see my business accounts. Maybe I want to break it up and just see my individual policies. There you go. Here's my individual policy. So you can see all the different related list views. What if I want to build my own list view? Okay, I'm going to go to this little cog here. And this is if you pull this down, it says list view controls. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so I'm going to be able to do a lot with creating or changing maybe the name of my list view that I'm in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to clone or create a brand new one. You can share settings if I want to change whether I want to show it to everybody or just myself. If I want to edit the list filters, select fields to display, or just delete the list view altogether. Okay. What I'm probably going to do though, if I want to create, I recommend, cloning is my friend, I'm going to say it a million times. If I want to create a different list view, I want to find a list view that's similar. Okay. So I don't have to start from scratch, right? My carrier accounts. Maybe I want to have a list view that pulls in, let's say, my Anthem carrier account. So I'm going to grab carrier accounts first, and then I'm going to clone that. What that does, it copies over a lot of information. Let's say, what did I say? I want an Anthem. I'm going to create a sub list view. Okay, and it's going to ask me, do I want to just see that, or do I want to share that view with everybody? And it's going to copy then a lot of the information. It's going to copy my filter. So I've got all accounts, and I've got my account record type equals carrier, which is what I want. But I actually want to make this even a sub account, and I want to create my account name equals, and I'm going to put in Anthem. If I hit save, what happens? Now it's only going to show me my Anthem carrier accounts, right? So that is how I create my custom list view. Now if I go back in here and I actually want to change not only what I can see, so all my Anthem carrier accounts, but now I want to change what these fields that I can see. So you can, if you hit that select fields to display, it's going to show me the fields that are displayed, but maybe I want to add in my billing city. Hit save. And now it's displaying my billing city. Okay. That is how my list views are working, how I can set up my pin so that'll show my that specific list view each time. And then I've also shown you now how to create your own list view and edit it. Let's talk about just editing in general, okay? Under my accounts, let's say, and under any object actually, but let's go into accounts. I'm going to go into account to show you. So all my editing buttons are going to be over here to the right, and my custom buttons that are built for me. This is where we're going to have different custom buttons available depending on what object I'm in. So I'm under my accounts, and you'll see I've got custom buttons here. Upload census, export census, benefit booklet, benefits at a glance. But if I pull this down, this gives me my other editing options. Edit, delete, change record, etc. Let's go to contacts and show you the difference. Let me just go into a contact. Again, some of those buttons disappeared. I don't have any custom buttons, but I've got my editing options here. I had a client once ask me, she goes, how do I delete something? Well, there you go. Okay, let's go into proposals. I'm going to grab a proposal and just show you what's visible. See, different buttons. These are my custom buttons. Assign contribution strategy, generate proposal. But it also gives me my editing options here. Okay, so each object gives me my editing buttons. Some more details than others. Okay, and be careful if I'm looking for certain buttons that I don't see, it's not going to be consistent. Like I said, proposals have different custom buttons. Deals have certain custom buttons. Let me go into a deal. Okay, so you want to be careful that if you're looking for something, you may not be in the right object, right? To do that, to see those custom buttons. Let's talk about page layouts, okay? So let's go back to our accounts and show you the general layout of each page. We have it consistent across all our objects, again, so you'll get familiar with this. Every time I go into a record under my object, it's going to give me the same basic layout, okay? I'm going to see my details, and that's going to give me basic information about that object. But I'm also going to be able to see a subcategory here, related, and that means related lists. So all the related lists that are combined and connected to this object, this account, are going to be here. So all my policies are here, my client services, deals, it's organizing all that for me, and here are all my related lists. You'll see these are all hyperlinks, right, because they're related to each other. Okay, so if I go into any object, the same level of detail is going to be in any object. Let me go into a contact, and you'll see the first thing that pulls up is details about that contact. If I'm not finding what I'm looking for, go to my related list, and oh, there we go. There's my dependent information. Maybe the information about my policies. Same thing applies to every object. I go into a proposal, what happens? First thing I see is what? Details. I can see all the information about my details. Second thing, if I don't see it, I'm going to look for, now my related list is going to show me more information. Policies works the same way. By default, details, that's the default that starts, gives me all that information. Now I go to related, it's going to give me more details about and more related lists. I want to note too, every single object has a files object. I can add files to any one of these categories. Nice thing about our system is that we don't have to dump all our files under accounts. I can put maybe my contract for this policy underneath that policy in my files, okay? But I do have the ability to put files under that account as well. So it's up to me where I want to put it, but just note that you have a files related list under every single object. We go all the way to the bottom here. There it is, okay? Some of the files are even saved in there for me. Again, deals, I can actually put in a deal and I can have a related list and put my files in there as well. Okay, files there. Every single object has a files related list. Okay, so that's the general layout. Details, always going to be the default when I go into my object or for the first time. and I can go to and then toggle over to my related lists. Okay. Last thing I want to show you are the favorites up here in the corner. Okay. So in general, if I start seeing that I'm going in and I'm looking for the same information each time, let's say I'm going to go in and I want to see my employee contacts each time. I can make that a favorite. All I do is select that star, and now it just added that to my favorites list. So I can go up here, and now I can see each time. So if I want to get somewhere quickly, I can add it to my favorites. Okay, if I want to get rid of a favorite, go in here. We can edit favorites, and let's say I don't want to see those dashboards anymore. I can get rid of them. Okay, that's how I can add it to favorites. That is general navigation. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we have a lot more videos to come. Thank you so much.